But I just want to move on to the budget.
Sure.
Handed down very, very soon. Look, budget night is really exciting. And if you're in Canberra, it is genuinely the best day of the year. A former political editor, absolutely love budget day. But for us, if you're not in lockup, we're just waiting to get the final details. But Paul and Gemma, there is a lot we know already.
Sure.
We know there's going to be the first surplus, $4 billion. Paul, this is a huge deal, even though it is going to be a temporary surplus. It is because of company tax profits, more revenue from personal income tax. Bracket creep means people are paying more tax. It's extraordinary how much more tax people are paying, and commodity prices.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, I've been having a look at the budget that Frydenberg put out about revenue and expenditure, the one that Chalmers put out. These are the key versions. And guess what? There's an awful lot of money that Australians pay in tax, and we learn via the strategic leaks to the insert organisation has learnt version of stuff that you've seen and read and heard everywhere, that Australians are paying via income tax $300 billion.
Yeah, wow.
It's the most they've ever got, and it is half of all of the money that the federal government will get. My quick observations about the budget are this. There are three ways that people, generally speaking, read a budget. There's the overall political green light, red light, which is surplus or deficit. If that's the judgment, well, green light, big tick, move on. If you're somebody who believes, well, you know, what's in it for me, like with those tax calculators and all those things that turn up on websites, well, when you do your sums tonight, don't forget, for 10 million people, they're $1,500 poorer at the start of the budget process than at the end of it, so double check that. And thirdly is, have they really changed the way the country works? Well, I'll give you the tip. When the Liberals were in power, social security and welfare was 35% of the budget, more than anything else. When Labor is in power, 35% is social security, more than anything else. The reality is that the size of social security unchanged. That's the biggest thing. Health, the same. Education, the same. Defence, the same.
Well, this is his October budget, of course, not tonight.
Yes, but my point is that what I'll be looking for tonight is, if they've got this huge amount of revenue, where are they choosing to spend it? Are they going to spend it on debt?
No.
Are they going to choose to spend it on increasing any of those particular graphs?
Yeah, okay.
And on that tax question, you're $1,500 worse off before you start, but watch no one make that point tonight.
Well, let's talk about debt, Gemma, because Peter Van Onselen wrote a fascinating piece today that the debt is bipartisan, because Labor has said the debt is from the coalition.
It's rubbish.
What's this nonsense?
And Labor left, Peter Van Onselen writes that Labor left half the total debt to the coalition when losing government in 2013.
Which is correct.
And then a large part of the debt is from the pandemic spending, which Labor supported. He says that both parties need to own the shame of the debt, but it is expected to reach $1 trillion.
Yeah, and Chalmers saying, oh, it's, you know, this $1 trillion coalition debt. That's just a lie. You know, it's just a lie. Labor didn't just energetically support the COVID spend. They wanted it to go further and for longer.
He wanted to buy an airline.
Right, of course. This is a high taxing, high spending budget. It's not going to push inflation down. It is going to, you know, putting more money in. There's going to be a section of the community who literally are living hand to mouth who will get some relief. But most people, I don't think, will rein in their spending. Phil Lowe, a month ago at the press club, was like, for God's sake, stop spending. Stop spending. Yeah. And also the other thing about this is, like, this government inherited, a 3.5% unemployment rate when they came into government. That's courtesy of the coalition.
Yeah,
it's courtesy of the coalition.
Look,
they're claiming this, oh my God, we're economic genii. They are nothing of the sort. This is a protected budget. And also the revenue from fossil fuel tax. I mean, the irony of them getting revenue from coal tax when they're telling us we need to shut coal down. I mean, seriously, you couldn't make that stuff up on a bad day.
Forgive me if I don't think that a coach who wins a premiership in first season is a genius.
No,
there's a lot of work that went before that, but again, it's the way people view it. They view it in those three big pockets. And 9:30 tonight, 90 minutes of Paul Murray Live, you'll get a more detailed version.
I reckon there's a conga line of manure sandwiches coming this government's way economically still to come.
There's a big spending surprise in this. They need to announce something other than surplus. Watch for that.
Oh, and will they touch the stage 2 tax cuts?
The only other thing I quickly wanted to raise with you, maybe Paul, is that I thought it was fascinating that Anthony Albanese made one of the big announcements yesterday on that, changing that single-parent welfare for single parents from 14 down to 8. Do you think he was stealing the Treasurer's thunder there? Normally you'd see the Treasurer making these big announcements the day before budget day?
No, I think that there's a little bit of shine from the left that's coming off Albo after the things he's been doing, the people he's been hanging out with, and his inability to deliver on the changes to the dole. So for him to try to put a bit more sheen back on, but I repeat, you can't have this much leaked before a 30-minute speech, the surplus of which will take up 90 seconds. There is something very big that everyone in Canberra is going to be pouring through here, which is going to be some new something that will be
leave something
the
for
dominant.
budget night.
Because that's tomorrow's
going to
front
be
page.
announced. All right.
Yeah.
Paul Murray, Gemma Tognini, thank you so much.